What's going on, everybody? And we're back. I'm George Gallo.
I'm Brandon Miller, and this is
the Mecca Sports Podcast. So, Brandon, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Obviously, since the last podcast, a lot has changed. Knicks are in the second round, which is a very good thing to see. And, right now we're up 1-0 with a game in hand. So, hopefully by the time this video gets put out, that we're up 2-0.
Yeah, end of the semester. We got a few classes left, few tests left, and then summer's out. What do you got going on for the summer this year? Internships, jobs, anything?
Yeah, I'm looking at a couple internships right now. Obviously, I'm keeping up with the podcast, and, I have a job already, and then I'm working on a new cooling line. So, a lot of stuff, a lot of fun stuff.
Good. Yeah,
what about you?
Yeah, hopefully I'll be getting an internship, meeting with someone. I'll disclose
disclose it. Yeah.
I'll disclose it once it happens. Meeting with someone next week.
Right.
Got my security license. I'll be doing security at Cedar Beach at the Tiki Hut this summer.
So you're gonna be bouncing people.
So yeah, just chill vibes, hanging out at the beach a little bit.
Yeah, you're not bouncing nobody. Yeah. Let's be real. But
hopefully we'll run that 1v1 this summer in ball.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, bro. We gotta put a video on that one because I'm gonna cook you.
Yeah, Connor's gonna be in it too.
Oh, Connor.
We're gonna run King of the Court.
Too. Yeah,
we're gonna run King of the Court. We'll have a nice little vlog for that. We should do that soon because that's nice weather coming. It really is not like we could even run that today, man.
Before it's too hot.
Yeah, I know.
No one wants to play King of the Court when it's 95 degrees outside.
I'm with it though. I'm with it whenever.
Of course you are.
Leaving you on zero.
So
Street ball. Street ball. No rules. No, I'm not calling any fouls. You're not. You guys might not score a basket on me, to be honest.
We'll see. I don't know about all that. I think I'm going to drop a good amount on you if I don't win. But
well, maybe from the perimeter you're going to hit a couple shots, but they're going to be contested. My hand's going to be right in your face.
We'll see.
You better hit them.
We'll have to wait and see. All right.
So let's dive into the Knicks a little bit.
All right.
We got some news last night. Mitchell Robinson, 6 to 8 weeks, stress fracture in his ankle. Same ankle that was surgically repaired earlier this year. Same ankle that was pulled on by Joel Embiid in the beginning of the Sixers series. So what are your thoughts on that, and how do you think that's going to affect the Knicks' future in this postseason?
I think it plays a big role in, affecting how the Knicks go about this postseason because now you're kind of down to, one center. You got guys that can, play a center role, but they're not genuine centers. We had Mitch come back, and, it was the greatest thing because, it gave Hartenstein time to, he's not fully healthy right now either.
No.
So, Mitch sort of gave him like a little bit of a bumper to, fall back on when he was tired or when he was in foul trouble. Now there's no room for error because realistically Jericho Sims is not ready to play in the playoffs. And you got guys like Precious who can step up, but he's not a 5. So you're sort of in a spot where Hartenstein's going to have to play more minutes, and then, people are going to have to step up like Precious. And, we're already down players. Burks is going to have to play now because he's going to hop into the rotation. So there are a lot of new things are going to happen in Game 2. We'll have to wait and see. But
yeah, listen, Mitchell Robinson is our best center. I don't care how good Hartenstein has been playing this year. Mitch is our best center on this team. You got a guy like Miles Turner. You got a guy like Siakam. Yes, Indiana does play fast-paced, and everyone thinks Precious is the right guy to play because of that pace. But with that size, Mitchell Robinson's going to be missed.
Right.
When Hartenstein gets into foul trouble, you really think Precious Achiuwa is going to guard Miles Turner? And that pick and roll that they've been running with Halliburton, it's been cooking everyone all game long, all season long. So now we have to deal with a smaller opponent in Precious Achiuwa. I just don't see how that's going to favor us. I mean, Isaiah Jackson's their backup big man. He's I think 6'9", 6'10".
He played very well against
yeah,
us.
but I like Achiuwa matching his minutes. I think
Right.
that's not a problem. But I think when Hartenstein gets the foul trouble and we need Precious to play against Miles Turner, I think that could become an issue. And maybe Jericho Sims could be put into the lineup to play against Turner.
See, I don't mind Jericho Sims defensively. I just think that offensively he's a big liability. I don't really think he brings us anything offensively.
Hey, Precious don't bring us anything offensively
Right.
either.
I
What
just
do
think-
you got to lose?
You're right. And, the Pacers play a very big lineup half the time. You're looking at it. So we're going to have to play, guys that have size. And we already lost so many guys with size. We lost Bogey. We lost Randall. We lost Mitch. The list goes on. We don't have guys with size anymore. So realistically, you're going to have to play that small ball sort of and use the big guys you got when they're going big,
See, now, it is interesting to me if Alec Burks enters the lineup. I wonder if now they go even deeper. Maybe they take out a Jacob Toppin. Maybe they take out, they like the Daquan Jeffries guy. They like to play him a little bit for defense. What if you see some of these other guys enter the lineup? Maybe even Sims as well.
You know, it's the playoffs, so you gotta play with what you got. There's no excuses. If Tibbs thinks that's the best thing to do for this team and put those guys in, I'm 100% with it. I just hope that they're ready for this moment, because I'm sure at some point in this series, one of those guys is gonna get a chance.
Yeah, and especially with foul trouble coming in, we're gonna have to get deeper into our bench. It's just sad to see. I mean, this is our best season in 15 years, 20 years. We don't have our 25-10 guy who's All NBA, third team, two-time All Star, Bogey, one of the best shooters off the bench in the league. Mitchell Robinson, one of the best backup big men in the league. So you're losing a lot right there. And for the Knicks to still be this far in it and still winning games in the playoffs it just goes to show you how good this team is playing right now, and how good of a roster Leon Rose built.
Right, and obviously, with all the injuries and stuff, it makes it seem less and less likely that, we could win a championship. But the thing is, with the Knicks, you never count them out. And obviously, we got guys who are willing to put their life on the line, their bodies on the line, all that, just, get a rebound. So I'm not really worried about, effort, especially with the guys we got, like, off the bench. Like Precious, he puts in some of the most effort I've seen. Whether or not he's a great basketball player, that's something that we can't really speak on. But obviously, he does his job when he's on the court. He's going to give you 110% when he's out there, because he knows he doesn't think he's going to get that many minutes in a game. So now that he is going to get minutes, I'm sure he's still going to put in that 110%. And, hopefully he can average 10 boards a game, get us some offensive rebounds, maybe some assists off of rebounds. But we really need guys off the bench to score, though. Yeah,
I mean, we do need them to score off the bench, but talking about our starters and our top 3 or 4 guys, I mean, how deep into the playoffs can you have them leading the way? I mean, you have Brunson, you have Josh Hart, and you have Devo. Other than those 3 guys, you're really not getting anyone scoring more than 20 a game.
Right.
So, the Villanova connection, how far can these guys really take us?
We're going to have to wait and see what the Villanova connection can do for us. Because, OG's been playing well. It's just he hasn't been, scoring more than 15 points a night.
I don't think he's a guy capable of really putting up numbers over 20 points a game like that consistently. I think every once in a while we could see it. Yeah, he's a very good mid-range shooter. He kind of reminds me of a young Kawhi a little bit. If you hesitant to take the 3 a little bit, he's got a good mid-range. He could drive. He plays defense 1 through 5. He kind of almost reminds me of a young Kawhi Leonard.
Right, and he can score the basketball. I just think it's more so of the way the offense is ran. He doesn't have a big offensive role besides, getting a catch-and-shoot 3 or stuff. Sometimes, when the clock's running down, he has the ball. He has to do that little dribble to the mid-range and pull up. But obviously, it's not his first goal to, go to the mid-range and shoot it. He's not a first option, so.
I also think a lot of it is you'd rather have him spend most of his energy on the defensive end.
Right.
Siakam has been playing out of his mind this postseason. I thought OG did a great job on him game 1.
Right.
Of course, Siakam's got the length on him. He's a lot taller. But OG was right there, and he was playing great defense on Siakam. He slowed him down just enough for us to get the victory. I expect that matchup to be like that all series long. That's going to be a tough matchup. But other than OG, no one else. I don't like anyone else on Siakam, to be honest with you. So if it means taking away less on offense and kind of sitting and having that role where he sits in the corner, I'm okay with it. If that's if he's got to guard Siakam the whole series.
Right, and Siakam is their main scoring option. I know they don't really have that main guy because they just pass the ball so much.
Yeah.
You're distributing, you're sharing is caring. It's what's that called? What kind of basketball is that? It's like something friend basketball where like it's like I know it. I don't.
We just call it not selfish basketball.
You could call it not selfish basketball, but it's like they just don't have a main guy. I mean, Siakam's going to give you 20 a night regardless of who's on him, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's because he just takes majority of the shots. But, like, we can keep Halliburton to under 10 a night, which is very likely because he's not really confident in himself anymore after he's been struggling a little bit. He's more so the passer of the ball and stuff like that rather than the shooter. So if we could lock down Siakam, I think we could probably take this series in 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm also surprised Halliburton didn't guard Brunson a lot more than we saw game one. I mean, Naismith.
He was lost.
Nemar, the other guy.
Nemhard.
I don't even know
TJ
half these
McConnell.
guys' names. They got some other guy that's some rookie shooter, a Shepherd that I've never seen.
Shepherd, yeah.
Like
yeah.
they got some of these guys guarding Brunson, and he's licking his fingers, man.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are on ice skates. They could not guard him at all. So I could see them switching to his zone. I could see them throwing doubles at Brunson all the time. I don't know. I don't know. I thought Halliburton was a good enough defender to check him 1-on-1. He's not really taking a lot of shots and running the offense on offense. I mean, he is distributing the ball and running the offense, but you like to see out of a player that's supposed to be a superstar player like that. He made Team USA. You kind of need more than just 6 points.
And 8 assists.
No defense. He's not guarding Brunson. I think he was guarding
OG.
he was guarding OG a lot, and I also saw him on Devo a few. But Devo second half started to light it up.
Right.
So I think Halliburton needs to kind of assert himself more and kind of prove himself.
Play a bigger role.
Yeah, he needs to do more and help out Siakam. Maybe if it's not so much offensively, he's a good defender. Halliburton could play defense. Maybe let's see him stick Brunson 1-on-1 for a little bit, and see if the Pacers can kind of throw some different things at Brunson to get him off guard and confused, because their plan to stop him game one did not work.
No, it did not work. And when you take a look at the other playoff series in the NBA, there's a lot going on. I mean, the Celtics won their first game yesterday. It was pretty easy for them to win that game. They didn't really have to struggle at all. You got guys. The Timberwolves didn't struggle with the Nuggets at all.
Yeah,
the
2-0.
I think they play again tonight to make it 3.
Yeah, they play again tonight. Yeah, I'm most surprised about that series. Denver can't get anything going on offense.
They're in shambles right now. Really bad.
The only way to beat Denver is to make Jokic the number one scorer. They're making Jokic uncomfortable. They're letting him shoot the ball. They're not letting him pass the ball as much, and they're not letting that behind-the-back alley-oop that he does to Aaron Gordon all the time get through. Rudy Gobert, you got to set 2 7-foot monsters in Gobert and Cat.
And Reed.
And you got Reed coming off the bench. The post defense is on lock right now. I don't know. Denver's gonna have to
switch it up.
I really don't know what else to do, because the fact that you got McDaniels, you got Noah, and then you got Anthony Edwards playing this crazy defense. Mike Conley's not a scrub on defense. Cat and Gobert, you got Defensive Player of the Year, Gobert.
Yeah.
There's just crazy defenders all over the court.
And off the bench too.
Yeah, so I mean, at some point, Denver is just you throw X's and O's, you throw the scheme out of it. These guys are just getting after you on the defensive end. You gotta just make a play. You gotta trust your skills to break out of it and hit some shots. And Jokic has got to let the game come to him more. He's got to control the game. One thing, I'm a big Jokic fan. He's my favorite player in the league. The one thing that I like about him is he's always let the game come to him. He slows it down. He kind of looks like he's playing at a pace that's not of him right now.
Right.
He's kind of, like you said, they're in shambles right now. He's never really seen a team like this Minnesota team that could defend 1 through 5, and they're all over the place.
Right, and I think their main focus for Minnesota going into this series was shut down Jamal Murray and shut down Jokic, shut down that pick and roll, and they're doing a great job of that. I mean, Jamal Murray has nowhere to go. You look at the game; he was getting double teams, getting swarmed. He was getting frustrated. He threw a heat pack on the court.
Yeah,
that's
I saw
how frustrated
that.
he was. I mean, and then the Jokic, Jokic likes basketball, but Jokic, he's so nonchalant. He's like, all right, yeah, we're getting pooped on right now. He's like, why am I gonna try? And it's like they just look like a team out there that's lost. And like you said, Jokic is trying to play to a pace that he doesn't normally play at, which is not his game. So when he tries to speed up the game just to try and come back quick, it's not going to work because, he's not the kind of guy that's going to, run down the court, quickly put it up on 3 guys. He's going to slow it down, draw the double, and then kick it out to someone. I also think that the guys in the Nuggets like Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon and Caldwell Pope all need to step up because right now you can tell that the focus is on Murray and Jokic, like I said. So guys like Porter who can give you 20 plus a night, guys like Gordon who should be able to give you 20 plus a night. Maybe not so much Pope, but the rest of those guys, they should be able to give you 20 a night. So if they're not doing their part, you know, and their one-on-one battles, they're not going to win this series. It won't even go past 4.
Yeah. Michael Porter Jr. was averaging 24 points in this playoffs. He's been a little quiet these 2 games.
Right.
Aaron Gordon's a guy who doesn't really create offense for himself.
Right.
He is a Jokic prodigy. He catches lobs, you know, those backdoor cuts, sitting in the corner open. Jokic finds him. He's not really a guy that's going to get you 20 a night if Jokic isn't distributing the ball like he usually does. And Caldwell Pope is, surprisingly, he's been one of the best perimeter defenders in the league this year. Anthony Edwards thinks otherwise because
Anthony Edwards, who is it that Anthony Edwards put on his knees, made him look like he was like praying or something?
In the postseason?
Yeah, I think it was Christian Braun. I'm pretty sure the guy on the Nuggets.
Oh yeah.
He drew the double team or whatever, and then he like hit this crazy crossover. The guy like was on his knees, and he did like a 360. I was like, oh nah.
Yeah, he's Anthony Edwards. Let's talk about him. How special he is. Who saw him leading this Timberwolves team in the postseason like this? Let's be honest.
Nobody. I don't think anyone saw this coming, to be honest, because I mean we all knew who Ant was. We all knew he was tough. He was good, but like. He's playing at a whole different level right now.
He's 22 years old, and he's leading this team right now. There could possibly take a 3-0 lead over the defending champions and arguably the best player in the world.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, you know, people compare him to Michael Jordan, all these other players, compare him to Kobe, all this stuff. Let the kid be his own player. I think he has, you know, similarities to those guys, but you know, guys like that don't want to be compared to, you know, all these other people. They want to create their own legacy. They want to be who they want to be. I think Ant has a chance to, you know, reset basketball and do something that, you know, no one's ever done before if he continues to play at this level.
Yeah, especially with a team like the Timberwolves that you got to look at that team that's built around him. He's got another offensive juggernaut in Cat with him. He's got a point guard in Mike Conley who's been there, done that. You know,
helps him out a lot.
And you got a defensive anchor, and you got defenders all around you, defenders and shooters. This team is built perfectly for Anthony Edwards to score 40, 30 a night and play defense and look like a superstar. It's, you know, a lot of people clown them for trading for Gobert after that trade.
Great trade.
Now looking at it, now the Jazz look like the losers for not getting more for that trade.
They got nothing out of it. They got 4 first-round picks, and I think the only person they got out of that was Walker Kessler, which is awful because he's nowhere near the top of the league and you know centers and all that.
No, but they went with the younger. They went with the younger guy.
To rebuild. I understand. Yeah. They got rid of Mitchell. They got rid of Gobert.
Yeah.
It honestly didn't work out for them. And then obviously, the Timberwolves could be. You know, I mean, they're not losing any guys anytime soon.
No.
So
they got everybody
they have
locked
3
up.
years with this roster. So good luck for the NBA because they're only going to get better with time and chemistry. I think if teams can't figure them out right now, it's going to be even worse in 2 years from now. So
yeah, just wait till Anthony Edwards actually develops and gets a few more years on. I mean, he's only 22 years old. Just imagine when he's 25, 26 of how great of a player he's going to be.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And then you go over to another series in the West that really surprised me today. The OKC Thunder absolutely obliterated the Mavericks yesterday. I'm very high in the Mavericks. You're very high in the Mavericks.
I have the Mavericks going to the NBA Finals.
What was your thought? I don't know if you got the chance to watch the game. It was late, but
I caught the first half.
What did you think of it?
OKC is just a better team. I thought this team was actually on upset alert in the first round. I thought OKC with the inexperience and you know their only vet that they play is Gordon Hayward. Most of those guys are homegrown talent drafted. Because they've had tons and tons of picks in the past couple of years. But they're just a better team. You can maybe even say they got the best player in the series too, in Shea. Luka's Luka. He's not 100% right now. And you got to have those role players step up for Dallas. You got Gafford. You got P.J. Washington, Tim Hardaway Jr., Kyrie. Kyrie and Luka are gonna do Kyrie, and Luka. They're gonna do what they do. They're gonna put the ball in the basket. I think this series comes down to the role players of Dallas. We know OKC's got role players and they're gonna show up.
They have a easily have a 12-man rotation.
They're gonna their bench is gonna come to play every single game. So I think this series, the X factor comes down to Dallas and those pieces around Luka and Kyrie and how well they perform.
Right, and obviously if you're the Mavericks, you could score, 110 points a night, but defensively, you're gonna have to be a lot better because if you give up 120 every night, there's no chance you're winning a game. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Shea is just so good.
Yeah,
He is such a good player, and to see the player that he's developing into now, because there was shades of it when he was younger. When he was, not developed yet, there was shades of seeing how special this guy was going to be. I hope that OKC, I hope they make it far in this. I don't see them beating Denver or Minnesota if they advance after this round. But
it'll be a fun series.
The future's bright, and I think there's a possibility that Kevin Durant could join this team in the offseason.
Yeah,
and that would be very scary.
Crazy reunion because I remember Kevin Durant's one of my favorite basketball players ever. I remember he's one of the reasons why I started liking basketball so much. When he was on the Thunder, I think I had I want to say 3 different OKC jerseys. I had the blue Thunder one. There was the white home. It was the white home jersey, I believe, and then there was a white out jersey, which was just all white. It was an off-white jersey. All 3 of those, Kevin Durant was I think he was the first player I actually bought a jersey from too. To be honest, then it was Kobe and then LeBron, but I went through the KD era before I went through any of the other ones.
Yeah, I was I was a Knicks fan. I loved OKC. I had OKC shirts and I used to have
bandwagon.
Yeah, I was a bandwagon when they used to go up in the NBA Finals against Miami, and they blew that 3-1 series lead in the Western Conference Finals to Golden State. I was the biggest Thunder fan. I loved watching that team. Ibaka, Cephalosha.
Man.
I mean, they had Nick Collison was a dude.
Yeah, dude,
they had a lot of good players. Anthony Morrow.
They had Gallinari at the time too.
No, they didn't have Gallinari at that time. No. But that team was great. That was such a fun team to watch. Gallinari was team hopping.
They had Kendrick Perkins, right?
Yeah, KP was their starting center.
Perkins,
he was trash.
Biggest Knicks fan. You could tell because he's manifesting the Knicks to chip. I don't know if he will now.
Big body Brunson.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we love Big Perk. I don't like Stephen A. Smith no more.
Yeah, I think he's kind of a negative guy a little bit.
And he just said, I think it was this morning or yesterday on First Take, he was talking about how Embiid's not healthy, and we all know the Knicks wouldn't be in this situation if what's his name wasn't healthy. But does he not forget Julius Randle's not healthy? Does he forget Bogey's not healthy? Mitch is not healthy?
None of our players are healthy.
Hartenstein's been dealing with an Achilles injury all year.
Our players are playing 48 minutes a night. I don't want to hear it.
Josh Hart hasn't gotten a single minute off this whole playoff series.
I don't want to hear it. It's ridiculous that, I understand, he's seen a lot. He's been through a lot. He's been a Knicks fan for a long time, but I mean, come on, man. Really? You can't enjoy the moment while it's happening? I understand you're looking for a chip. You haven't seen one in so long, and you're looking for Eastern Conference Finals. But think about the young people like us. We're living the moment right now. We haven't seen this at all. We haven't seen a conference finals at all. We don't see any of this stuff.
No.
So we're living for this right now. We're living for the point guard of the future for the Knicks.
This is Jalen Brunson is the first point guard we had, and I think it was 18 or 19 seasons that we didn't have a different point guard starting opening night back to back. Jalen Brunson was the first point guard. Think about that. And the impact he's having on this team.
The city, too.
The whole entire NBA. When we first signed him in free agency, I remember he was saying, come on, this guy's not worth this much. Now I'm saying he's not worth this much in a way where we're underpaying him.
Right.
So he's exceeded everyone's expectations. He's got his Villanova boys with him. Listen, he's in an all-time high right now. Life can't get better for him. He's having the time of his life, and he's balling right now. And things can't get any better for him. So I think that's just only going to help us Knicks fans. And not only this year, but the few years to come, I think our window is wide open for an NBA Finals.
Right. Maybe with 1 or 2 more minor additions, this team could really put themselves on the map.
I don't even think we need any more additions. I think we just need this team fully healthy. We barely got to see this team fully healthy this year.
Right.
With Randall, with Bogey, with OG, with Mitch. You throw everyone in there right now. Just think about it right now. Brunson, Devo, OG, Randall, Mitch. That's our starting five. We got Josh Hart, McBride, Hartenstein, and Bogey coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's a lineup right there.
You could throw Achua in there if you want. You could throw Burks in there if you want.
I wouldn't mind running it back.
You're telling me I would run it back too?
Especially because, most teams are going to end up running it back. I mean, some teams are going to lose players too. So it's not like, maybe with the addition of some teams getting a little bit better, I still like our chances.
I think the only Achua's going to be gone this year. I don't unless we sign him back to a very cheap deal. I don't see him returning.
But I think we could bring back the majority of our guys.
I think the only other one is just Hartenstein.
I think he wants to be here.
Bogey's still on contract. Hart, Devo, McBride, Brunson, Randall.
They're all on contract.
They're all on Mitch. They're all on contract. It's just Hartenstein. So there's a lot of big men in this free agency class. There's Valanciunas. Miles Turner just got extended. He would have been in this class.
That would have been nice.
There's another big man I'm forgetting right now. Not Valanciunas. There's a similar Vucevic.
Oh, Vucevic, yeah.
From Chicago. He's a free agent too. Bobby Portis is a free agent. There's guys. I think Brook Lopez. I think even Brook Lopez's contract is up too. That wouldn't be a bad big man off the bench at all.
I would love that. We need a big man that can shoot.
Drummond.
Maybe Hartenstein learns how to shoot this offseason.
Drummond.
Drummond's very good.
I would take Drummond off the bench.
He would fit this team perfectly.
Yeah, a rebounder and defender. That's all we need off the bench is a big man.
Right. And so, anything else you want to talk about before we set up shop and end the podcast for the week? Anything else you want to talk about?
Let's go. Let's transition to the NFL a little more. Let's talk about the NFL. So let's talk about the Giants. I was watching the Knicks game the other day. OG dove into the crowd. Kayvon sitting there courtside with his girl. Yo, he looks jacked. He got huge this offseason.
I'm extremely excited about the Giants' defense this year, I'll tell you, because, I think everyone's, has the motivation. They all collectively want to, be the best defense in the NFL. They're calling themselves Rush Hour already, you know. Dude, I'm so excited. Kayvon, getting some more size on him is only going to help him out. He's already one of the quickest edge rushers in the league. Pair that, he's getting stronger. It's only going to help him. He can do some bull rushes, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited.
Now, Brian Burns, our newest acquisition, Mr. $150 million man. Him and Kayvon, if you think about it, what other pass rushers that duos in the league are better than that? I mean,
it's not many.
You could look at over there in Pittsburgh. You could look
at Houston. You got Hunter and
Anderson. Yeah, but
we're
listen,
definitely up there.
Kayvon and Burns, a lot to prove. Both those guys have a lot to prove, and you got big sexy Dexy in the middle of that.
Best defensive tackle.
Dude, listen, we got Bobby Okereke, a great middle linebacker. I think McFadden's better than Isaiah Simmons, to be honest with you.
McFadden's awesome.
I like our front seven right there. I think we're gonna defend the run very well this year. Get to the quarterback a lot better than it's been since 2011. I just think our secondary is a little bit shaky there.
It could be, but then again, they're young. They're only getting better. Banks is only gonna get better. This guy Andrew Jackson, everyone or whatever his name is, the guy out of Kentucky, everyone's saying he's a stud. So.
You got Flott, who really looked good last year.
You got Nubin, we just drafted.
Nubin, yeah. Nubin's going to be.
Forget about him because we just got him, but.
But I'm not really a fan of Pinnock. He did play well last year, but.
I just don't think he'll have that big of a role because of Nubin.
He's gonna be
more so in like a sort of like a blitz package rather than.
So who's gonna be the other safety next to Nubin?
I think we're gonna run a lot of Dane Belton this year. I mean, you think we signed Jalen Mills as a safety?
He's not gonna start.
I think he could. I really do think he could because he didn't play bad for the Patriots last year. Obviously, the Patriots couldn't stay on the field, so sort of like us in a aspect, the defense had to play a lot. Just their defense was nowhere near as good as ours.
I don't want Jalen Mills to play,
But
man.
he's experienced. He could help out the older guys. He's played at the high level.
There's
He's
still
won a
so
Super
many
Bowl.
better safeties out there right now.
There is, but then again, I don't think they want to sign. The only way they would sign another safety right now that's at a high level is if it was a 1-year deal.
That's it.
But then again, I don't know if the Giants are, looking to do that right now.
Why? How about corner?
They
Could we sign a Dory back?
They could be looking to, maybe pursue a trade mid-season that for some reason they want to keep that salary cap in mind. They could be reasons why they want that money. I don't know why. None of us know why, but they have money to spend.
They do have money to spend, and the only contract that we reworked this offseason was Dex.
Right. We didn't
think
rework Andrew Thomas.
We didn't rework Andrews. We didn't rework Bobby's.
We wanted to keep. I think it's smart because we don't want to, backload it all to the back end of the future, and then in 2 years from now have to worry about paying all these guys. I think it's smart, keep it where it is. We're projected to have a lot of salary cap next year.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
the year after that.
listen, once Daniel Jones were able to get that contract off the books at the end of this year, it's going to free up so much salary cap. It's going to be insane.
My biggest concern, and this shouldn't even be a concern because it would be a good thing if this happened. What if Daniel Jones plays very well? What do you do from there?
I think you still got to cut him and maybe rework a contract because just
You think maybe extending him? And
no. Whatever we do, get out of this contract. Don't extend him.
What if he throws 40+ touchdowns?
That's not going to happen.
What if he does?
That's not going. And if it does, he's still not worth the 50-60 million that's on his contract right now.
I don't know.
Get rid of that contract. Re-sign him. You could even extend him, yes. But whatever you do, rework those 2 different years that we have because that salary is way too high. Rework those. He hasn't proved himself.
He hasn't.
This is a team that needs – it's not like we have superstars on rookie contracts all around. We need to go out and sign more players. Having him in $50 million is – what are you paying this guy for? I just don't get it.
Right.
What do you – like, it's just mind-boggling. I can't find the words because I'm trying to keep it PG here as well. This guy is robbing us. We don't have Saquon. We don't have X because of him. I get it. Those guys are easily replaceable. But you think about it. They're on the team right now. How good is this team going to be with Saquon and X? If keep everything else that's on the team right now and keep Saquon and X on the team. We're a top team in the NFC East.
I'm going to be honest. In order for Daniel Jones to stay on this roster, have a chance, at least 20+ touchdowns.
20? Bro, he's a quarterback. How the hell you gotta have more than
I'm
20?
saying 20 passing touchdowns and maybe 8 rushing touchdowns. He needs to amount to at least 30, in my opinion.
If he doesn't throw for at least 30 touchdowns this year, this guy can never touch the field as a quarterback for the New York Giants ever again.
He also has to lead us to the playoffs again. I don't care what our roster
He didn't even lead us to the playoffs the first time. It was Saquon Barkley. He accounted for over 50% of our offense.
He played very well though that year. I mean, regardless of him not throwing the touchdown passes, he had some of the best, completion percentages in the league and stuff like that. He didn't force anything. He played simple.
He didn't even throw the ball down the field.
It was the system, though. It wasn't him.
There wasn't a system because he can't.
But
he can't throw the ball down the field.
What you're not understanding is if they're not giving him the availability to throw the ball down the field, they don't want him to throw the ball down.
There's a reason why.
And that could be very well true.
You can't have an NFL quarterback that you're not letting him throw the ball down the field.
It's very true.
We have Hyatt. We have now Neighbors. These are two deep threats. We need to unlock that deep threat into our offense because if we don't implement in there, everyone's going to play in the box and play shallow on us, and it's going to turn to a lot of 3-and-outs just like the New York Giants football offense has been the past 5 years.
I'll tell you this right now. The first drive of the NFL season will determine how our season goes. If we have a 3-and-out and then, it's an unfortunate 3-and-out, we'll be fine. If we have last year, right as soon as they blocked that field goal, I knew we were cooked. I knew the whole season was cooked. I tried not to say anything. I tried to hide it, but I knew. So hopefully, this year, first drive touchdown would be something. Let me tell you.
Yeah. I get mad at watching the Knicks. I get mad at watching the Yankees.
Giants.
Nothing makes me rage more than the Giants season. Nothing. I have an Eli Manning sticker. There's a hole in it, and his head's ripped off. It's going to stay like that because when I look at that, it makes me feel better to seem like the Giants, as bad as the Knicks have been this past couple, 5-10 years, the Giants have been way worse.
Right.
Way worse.
Agree.
Disappointing. We don't even have a regular offense. We can't even run the ball for more than 5 yards. We can't even throw the ball for more than 20 yards. We have the most 3-and-outs in the league. It is a joke. Watching the Giants' offense is a joke. We've had McAdoo calling plays. We've had Joe Judge calling plays. We've had no offensive linemen, no receivers. We've had Tommy Cutlets. It's been a shit show. I can't take it anymore. So this season, we finally have some good players around. We built an offensive line. We have some receivers. This is it. This Daniel Jones.
It's it for you, buddy.
I wouldn't even mind Drew Lock starting. I would be totally happy with Drew Lock starting.
But then you got to give Daniel Jones, no matter who starts, I feel like you have to give them the same, I guess you could say, leniency, because no matter what, they're both starting with this lineup. So whoever plays better deserves to play. I think that's how it should go.
Yeah, I think so too. Listen, don't be surprised if Drew Lock comes in camp this summer and wins the job over Daniel Jones. Drew Lock's a guy who's he's gonna let his nuts hang, man. He's gonna throw the ball. He's gonna throw it in some tight windows. He's gonna throw the ball deep.
Downfield, yeah.
But that's what we need. We need a quarterback like that who's not afraid. Listen, Hyatt and Neighbors are going to be two of the best deep threat receiving duos in the league. These guys could just totally run right past the top of the defense. It's insane. So we need a quarterback that's not afraid to throw it to them. Even if it's a 50-50 ball, give them some chances. It's going to unlock our offense and help out the short game of our offense.
It's true. And, obviously, we got guys that, like Wanda, who everyone around the league is talking about, all the players in the league. They're all saying how underrated this guy is. I'm sure it's very difficult to guard Wanda on the slot.
Yeah, see, he's not so much of a deep threat, but he's a rack guy.
But that's the thing, though. If you can establish the deep ball, then you don't have to worry about it, which leaves room underneath for Wando.
Exactly.
And then also you got the guy we drafted out of Purdue, Tyron Tracy, who was a receiver, now he's a running back. So out of the backfield, you got to worry about that. And then obviously, say it is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones can run. So it's not like we have multiple varieties of ways that we can, gain yards on this offense. We could go deep. We could go underneath. I just think that there's potential. It's just you have to, unlock the full potential.
And I like Singletary.
Oh, me too.
All jokes aside, Singletary I thought was a great signing this offseason. He could be close to 1,000 yards this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he even has 1,000 yards rushing with us this year. I think our offensive line improved.
Right.
With Runyon. Listen, JMS has got to have a better year.
Right.
Second round center last year. He's got to stay healthy and play better this year. Hopefully Eric Flowers. Evan Neal moves the transition over the left guard. Eric Flowers, I said that because exactly it's the same thing. Wouldn't work out as a tackle. He's gonna move over the guard, and I guarantee you he'll be playable. He's not gonna be a star out there, but he's gonna have some good moments out there. You're gonna relieve some of the pressure of pass blocking at the left guard next to Andrew Thomas. He'll be able to maul in the run game. I think it's gonna benefit both parties.
And look, Evan Neal's going into his third year in the NFL, I think.
Fourth.
So he's in a contract.
Is it
I'm pretty
third?
Sure it's third. It's third, yeah. So he's going
him and Kayvon are third, yeah.
Going to the third year. Not so much Kayvon, but Evan Neal. You're coming up on a point in your time where you're the fifth year. What's it called?
Fifth year option.
Fifth year option's coming around. I would definitely tell you. I would recommend that you step up whatever position you're playing. You step it up at least to an average level, because you were a top 5 pick in the NFL. So, or it was a top 7. So you should be playing at, a top 7 level at your position. There's not that many people that can, play right tackle at a high quality. So right now, you're at the bottom. So definitely step up your game a little bit, and maybe don't go on social media that much this year, because, last year that was a big problem. I think you got caught up in that a little too much. But hopefully this year you turn it around.
Yeah, and the other thing about the fifth year option, the tag for the tackle is much higher than it is for a guard position.
Right.
So that fifth-year option, it goes by position and it goes by the position that you were drafted at. So how high or low you were drafted at.
Right.
That determines the amount of salary cap hit the fifth-year option has on that team. So Evan Neal staying at tackle rather than guard will have a higher fifth-year option, and he was also drafted 7th, which is a high pick. So if they move him to guard, it could go down a little lower, but I would expect them not to pick up the fifth-year option on him. Maybe even not Kayvon to get a deal done right away. Edge rusher, we know that's a huge market, especially now we just put $150 million into Brian Burns.
Right.
Kayvon's only going to get expensive every year. I'd like to see them not give him the fifth-year option and just give him a contract right then and there. Because
Right.
you wait another year, other people are going to get signed, and it's only going to get more of a cap hit.
Trade rumors come around and all that stuff. We don't need that.
Yeah.
But obviously, Evan Neal's competing for a job. Like, there's actually people this year that could compete.
Yeah.
for
Illuminor
So I'm
could play right tackle.
Illuminor's a better football player than
Yeah,
him. It's just Evan Neal has more potential. But Evan Neal obviously hasn't shown that.
But that's the thing, though. We
But-
put Illuminor at right tackle. Who's going to play the other guard position if Evan Neal doesn't?
We have guys that could play. Ben Bredeson's not a bad player.
Come on, man.
He's not a bad player. He was one of our best offensive linemen.
Come on, bro.
He's on a line with a bunch of other players that can collectively, as a unit. That's the thing about a line. You need to play together as a unit.
I'd rather Justin Pugh come back.
Justin Pugh can come
Yo,
back.
Ben I cannot watch. I don't want to watch any of those guys. I'm glad Shane Lemonew's not on the team anymore. I don't want to see any of these idiots that were drafted that can't play. Matt Pert's off the team now.
Right.
These bums, these guys who cannot
Right.
play football for their damn life. Get them off the team. This offensive line, we need depth. We need guys who could play. Illuminor's a guy who could play everywhere. We signed another center that was from the Vikings.
We signed a lot of guys.
This guy might be able to start over JMS. They're not going to do it because he was a second-round pick and he's young, but he's a very good player as well and also could play guard.
Right.
Name I can't think of off the top of my head, but I know.
Player.
Yeah, he could. I know for sure if we need him to play, he could come in and give us some good playing time.
Right. And obviously, so NFL schedule is coming out next week.
Yeah, we
had some confirmation that we already know. Week 1 in Brazil, the Eagles are playing the Green Bay Packers. You want to talk to me a little bit about that, and then we'll go into who we would like to see the Giants get Week 1 and how it could shape out the season.
Eagles Packers. See, I wanted the Giants to get Eagles Week 1.
Right.
I think that was the right thing. The beef is right there. The storyline is right there. You make that a Sunday night game, or you make that the Monday night game, and that's just ratings and money all over the place. But they're doing Green Bay and Philly, which is going to be a great game. I think could possibly be a showdown for the NFC Championship game. That could possibly be a preview. Week 1, I don't want to play Dallas.
Give us someone different.
I'm so tired of playing Dallas
It's not
Week
even 'cause
1.
I'm
They
scared of
just
Dallas.
they just kick our ass
They
every
kick us
single
out,
year.
yeah.
Week 1, man.
I
I'm
think we
so
need to be-
tired of
We
it.
need to be more like that one year that we made the playoffs. We didn't play that. We played Tennessee Week 1. We were prepared.
That's
Even
when Randy Bullock missed the
Exactly.
field goal. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So realistically, the way you start the season is the way it's going to determine your season. So if we start off with a win against a team that's not that great,
Give us Pittsburgh Week 1.
we do have. I mean, there is Pittsburgh.
We play that whole division.
There's Washington we could play. There's Atlanta, which is kind of the Panthers would be a good one to get.
Yeah.
I would not mind Carolina.
Beat up on Carolina Week 1.
The Buccaneers, the Saints, the Colts.
We play the Bengals this year?
Yes, the Bengals Week 1. Imagine a Bengals Week 1 on like a Monday Night Football.
I wouldn't mind Joe Burrow, probably going to take him a few games to get back into it.
See, here's my logic behind Week 1. I don't really think that I wouldn't be scared to play any of the juggernauts from last season Week 1 because I feel like it's going to take time to, adjust. So rather play them while they're not at their best, like Week 8, Week 9. Play them, week 1, Week 2, Week 3. Get them out the way early, If you lose, you lose, but then, you have the lighter schedule towards the back end. I don't really want to play, these weak teams in the beginning because we did get that 1 year, but then we ended up losing. I think it was like 5 straight games, and I don't really want that again. I want to be consistently good, consistent throughout the whole season. So, if we're going to win like 3 games and lose 2, I'm okay with that. But don't, win. Don't go on a roller coaster of, 7 wins, 1 loss, then a win, and then 5 losses.
Yeah.
Like, that's not good because it's not going to help you out in the playoffs. But I will say, the one team on the schedule I'm looking at, week 1, Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, that would. Listen, I think all of these games could be good for week 1. I just think there needs to be more of like a. I feel like week 1 should be more of a rival / storyline type of game. Like
Right.
There's some.
I mean, you could do Jaden Daniels on Washington versus Malik Neighbors.
I thought that would be good. I was gonna say Washington,
But they typically put those Giants versus Washington on a Thursday night for Amazon Prime.
and they
Every year.
and they feel like what they usually play towards the end of the season.
Yeah, it's always they play like I think it's like 2 times in like 4 weeks at the end of the season every year.
You know, I'm gonna change my mind. I want Dallas week 1, man.
Do you?
I want Dallas. They're not that good this year. They definitely took a step back. We took a step up. It's about time we beat Dallas week 1, man. And I hope it's in Dallas too, so we could beat them in Dallas.
We always get them in New York. I feel like.
I'm so tired of losing to Dallas. My uncle's a Cowboys fan, and I gotta hear it all the time. How about them Cowboys? How about them I'm so sick and tired of it. It's every single year.
It's true.
I also do like how our schedule's a little bit easier this year.
Last year was awful.
And we did have a very hard schedule. This year's a lot easier, so we could squeak out a few more wins than we did last year, but I'm not really expecting a drastic change back to the playoffs or anything like that. I think it's going to take another year for us to get back into the playoff
And
picture.
obviously, our schedule was tough last year, but 3 plays could have changed our season totally. I mean, you look, if Waller got the PI call against Buffalo, that changes our season. That's one win right there. That makes it 7 wins.
Block field goal against Dallas.
Block field goal, you could say that, but not even that. You think the Giants versus Jets, if they don't put Gano out there on the 4th and 1 to kick the field goal,
when
they
he's
just
hurt,
run it with Saquon, then that's 8 wins right there. And then I think there was one more game. It was against the Rams where the shovel pass to Saquon where he dropped it, for the 2-point conversion to win the game. Right there, that's 9 wins. Playoff team.
I think that Buffalo game really hurt us, man.
It does. But those are all games that we deserve to win.
But if we would have beat Buffalo, that confidence that would have gave us that we took out a top team, I think we would have been able to ride that momentum for a little bit.
The Broncos did last year. They were bad in the beginning, and then they started taking out tough teams, and they made a push towards the end. But those games, literally one possession, one play changed all those games. So, and those were all good teams.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it. I mean, the Jets weren't the best team, but, the Bills were a top team in the AFC, and then the Rams were a top team in the NFC.
Yeah.
So 2 teams that we could have beat that would have boosted our confidence. And not only that, they're good. So it's like, we can compete. It's just, we can't have a 40-0 blowout week 1 again.
We need a damn quarterback that could play quarterback and throw the ball. We don't need a running quarterback. It's nice to have the running aspect, but when you're known for running instead of passing, that's a problem. Throw the damn ball to our targets. We finally have a generational wide receiver 1 talent in Malik Neighbors.
Get him the ball.
Could we use him, please? Could we throw the ball to Jalen Hyatt more? Could we get Wandale going in some and some screens and some shovel passes and some reverses? And let's
switch up. Make this offense fun to watch.
Yeah, let's make it creative.
Make it diverse. Make it so they never know what's gonna happen. Do all these crazy plays. I want to see trick plays. I want to see all this crazy stuff. Like, do stuff that the Patriots would do back in the day. Even though they didn't have a mobile quarterback, they're doing all these crazy plays with Edelman and all that stuff. Do that. I want to see stuff like Mahomes do something as the announcer. Do something a little Mahomey. Like, yeah, come on.
Like, bro. When Kansas City, they'll spin around in the circle and then they'll all run to their spots and then they'll run a crazy play. Yeah, do shit like that. Like, you got to change it up a little bit. The teams have a lot of film on you and they know what you're doing. Give them different looks. Do different things. Open the playbook up a little more.
I'm tired of the halfback dive, bro. I'm tired of it. Open up the playbook. I don't want to see any simple plays that a peewee team could run.
Well, that's the thing though. Now, do you trust Daniel Jones of opening up the playbook and giving him full reins?
Well,
that's why they're not doing it, because we haven't had a quarterback that was capable of doing this for a while. So you're holding back Daniel Jones, but it's not really holding him back. You're almost doing him a favor.
Right. And look, this is his 3rd year in this offense. If they can't open up the playbook right now, they're never going to be able to with him. So if you're gonna give Daniel Jones the reins, you didn't draft a quarterback, you didn't sign a starting quarterback, you damn well better be giving him the reins to just open up the playbook, call whatever you want, especially for Kafka, because Kafka's in a questionable job spot right now. He doesn't even want to be here. He got forced to be here by Dable. So he tried to go get a head coaching job.
Well, I think Daboll's taken over offensive play calls
So
this year.
Dable better open up the playbook like he did in Buffalo, sling the rock, and win us some damn games.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to Daniel Jones again, man.
I'm not either, but I love football. I love the Giants.
I'll be watching every game,
I
sadly.
didn't have faith in the Knicks. I didn't have faith in the Knicks when they were bad. They turned it around. I didn't have faith in the Yankees after this season. They turned it around. Giants, turn this thing around for me. And with that being said, I'm Brandon Miller.
I'm George Gallo.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Sports Podcast.